Hello everyone, I am the English professor. Today I will be taking you through the poem My Tibetanness by Tenzin Tsundue. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Let's begin. About the author Tenzin Tsundue is an Indian-born Tibetan writer and activist who is known for his activism for Tibetan independence. His parents, like many other Tibetans, became refugees when they fled Tibet in 1959 after China's invasion and occupation of Tibet. In 1950, China declared Tibet as a part of its territory, leading to tensions between the two countries. In 1959, the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibet, fled to India following a failed uprising against Chinese rule. This resulted in a massive exodus of Tibetans, including Tenzin Tsundue's parents, who fled to India and settled in a refugee camp. About the poem My Tibetanness explores themes of exile, identity, and cultural assimilation. This poem is a poignant expression of the speaker's experience as a Tibetan refugee living in India, where they are considered a foreigner despite being born and raised in the country. The poet's longing to go back to Tibet is clearly visible, and he woes at not being identified by his country and forced to accept Indian culture. He yearns for some country to support and accept them and provide them citizenship, but their voice has not reached the world around. The poem depicts the emotional stress that refugees have to undergo in any country. He pens down the pain and plight of the lost country who did not get the support or help of any nation. The speaker feels a sense of displacement and loss as they are not recognized as citizens of any nation, and their Tibetan identity is constantly questioned and misunderstood by others. The opening lines of the poem emphasize the speaker's frustration at the lack of international support for the Tibetan cause, despite their long-standing struggle for independence and self-determination. The phrase sympathy stock suggests that Tibetans are often reduced to mere objects of pity rather than being taken seriously as a people with a rich cultural heritage. The poem draws on his real-life experience of being a Tibetan refugee, of having to renew his registration to live and work in India annually, and of being told he is a refugee at school. The reality of their exile both at the physical and psychological level becomes part of their Tibetanness. The speaker also highlights the complex mix of identities that they embody as an Indian Tibetan. While they feel a strong connection to their Indian home, their physical appearance marks them as different and often leads to confusion and mistaken assumptions about their background. Despite these challenges, the speaker remains steadfast in their sense of Tibetan identity, even though they have never been to Tibet itself. The final lines of the poem are particularly poignant, as the speaker expresses a deep longing to die in their ancestral homeland. This desire speaks to the profound connection that many Tibetans feel to their land and culture, despite being forced to live in exile for decades. Overall, the poem is a powerful testament to the resilience and perseverance of the Tibetan people in the face of ongoing challenges and injustices. The phrase serene monks suggests the presence of Tibetan Buddhist monks, who are known for their peaceful and meditative way of life. The phrase bubbly traditionalists is a contrast to this, suggesting that there are also Tibetans who are more outgoing and expressive in their adherence to traditional Tibetan culture. The phrase 1 lakh and several thousand odd is a way of saying that there are over 100,000 Tibetans in exile in India, but not an exact number. This emphasizes the large and diverse nature of the community. The phrase nicely mixed, steeped in various assimilating cultural hegemonies suggests that the Tibetan community in India is a mix of different people who have been influenced by various cultural forces. Assimilating cultural hegemonies means that these different cultural influences are being absorbed and integrated into the overall culture of the Tibetan community. This indicates that the Tibetan community in exile in India is constantly evolving and adapting to new cultural influences while still maintaining a sense of their Tibetan identity. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.